Oops, I'm late. I'm so sorry. I was looking for photos to show tonight. So, Dark Lord, welcome, welcome. Almost homesteading. I'll probably cough a lot because it's the time of year where my lungs respond to the cooler weather. Look at those icicles. That's not here. That's somewhere further north. So welcome, welcome to the first live broadcast of Our Georgia Suburban Homestead, February 2024. Can you believe that it's February already? Almost homestead. So get a beverage and get comfy. Yeah. Hey, DJ. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Tiffany, I was looking for you over at Tuber Chat. Are you okay, hon? I'm so used to seeing you there. Yeah. So welcome tonight. Again, we're freestyling it tonight. And one of these times I'll set up a topic. It's just I've been so busy. I'm bouncing off the walls like a super ball. The dog's chewing something under my desk. Hold on. What are you chewing? What are you chewing? You're looking at me guilty. You must be chewing something you're not supposed to.
Canada.
What?
Come on, getting sick in Canada.
Very tired. I think we might be getting sick. What's going around up there? Hey, Nikki and Requin, thank you for coming in. DJ's is working on 1,000 subscribers. So anybody that has it in their heart to go over there and help DJ out by subscribing, and make sure you comment on a video or two and put your thumbs up so YouTube will keep you in there. Let's all help DJ out. Elderberry time. You know, that reminds me, Dark Lord, I need to go out and make some cuttings in the next week or two of my elderberry. I've got 2 different varieties of elderberry that are now popping up all through the way backyard, aren't they, honey?
Here and there,
The birds are planting them for us. We took a little tour of the back of the half-acre lot or 3/4 of an acre lot that we have here, and looked at our witch hazel trees that are only like that tall. They're all budding out. One of them's got a lot of buds, and we'll have to keep an eye on it because it's really supposed to be blooming by now, but it's one of the first things that feeds the bees. I'm spraying that forsythia, which is budding out as well. She doesn't have any elderberry. Good Lord. The last bit of medicinal tea I sent to you, Tiffany, didn't reach you, did it? Maybe I'll try again. Let's see what I can come up with. Can you describe your symptoms? Dandelions are good, and we've got 2 dandelions blooming in the yard. If you've been watching my videos, you know what I've been up to this week in the greenhouse. You still haven't gotten it. That is so strange. That is really strange and disappointing. I have to get more chamomile because tonight's drawing are going to be my tea blend. I've already got it all packaged up, ready to go. But I have been busier than you can believe. Suzanne, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. Are you going to show my video? Well, if you follow me, Almost Homesteading, we should start seeing germination in 14 days, which will be 2 weeks from Monday, this last Monday. The easier to germinate peppers should start showing. It'll be first week of March before we really see activity on the super hots. And we are keeping a very, very close eye on the heating mats this time. And it's gotten kind of hot in the greenhouse a couple of days where we didn't open the door for ventilation and get up to 106. So I'm hoping I didn't cook all my seed. So fingers crossed, because that would be expensive to lose all that seed. Deep muscle aches, tired, slight cough, nose headache, sore throat. So far it's upper respiratory, Tiffany. Nita, welcome, welcome. You like my watermelon earrings? Nita's cooking show. I have been to her channel several times. David, hey, what'd you think of all those peppers? What'd you think of all those peppers, Mr. David? Bone set? Yeah. If you've got body aches, increase your cooking with turmeric, fresh turmeric, that's what I'm talking about, but also powdered, and ginger. That'll help take away some of that inflammation there. And cut back on your nightshade plants that you're eating. What are the nightshades? Who in here can tell us what the nightshade vegetables are? Hey, Nita, you're gonna make me blush. Oh. You got your waffle iron. Have you made the chaffles yet? Do you remember the basic chaffle recipe? 1 egg, you beat the hell out of it with half a cup of shredded cheese. I like the taco mix, which has a little, 2 or 3 kinds of cheese in it. You just beat it up, spray something on that waffle pan and pour it in, press it, and it'll beep when it's done. And then pour some honey or maple syrup or something over the top. Okay, Almost Homesteading says tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, tomatillos. That's right. Yeah, so those plants, if you have aching muscles, aching joints, you just overall ache, start thinking about what you've been eating, because you've been eating any of those nightshade vegetables, potatoes as well, can cause inflammation in your body. So what I did when I first discovered food allergies back in the 80s, before the doctors were really recognizing it, because my husband was developing some strange reactions to food. And then we noticed that whenever I ate pork, I got a really, really bad upset stomach. I was diagnosed with Crohn's. It was so bad. I started keeping a food journal, and I definitely noticed patterns. And it can take up to 72 hours from when you ate something for it to show up. But if you keep bombarding your body with that one ingredient, like if you have tomatoes and everything, and then you start having like acid reflux, it could be the tomatoes, not spices, but it's the actual tomatoes, or aching muscles, aching joints. Okay, Alfonso, welcome, welcome. So it's true. If you keep a food diary, just try it. Everything that goes in the mouth gets written down with the date and time of day that you ate it, and then monitor how you feel for the next few weeks. Do it for a month and see if you notice a pattern. And I'm not saying you need to cut that food totally out, except with, in my instance, anything from the pig. I can't even touch pigs and I break out. So anything within 72 hours and you notice a pattern in your pain levels, then you eat a little bit of that. You space it out maybe once a week or once every 4 or 5 days. You can have that ingredient and see if you don't feel better. It's yeah, Nikki, how's your garden growing? How's your garden growing, girlfriend? You got your milk jugs yet going? So David put out a video today, and I bookmarked it to go back to. But David, I've been nutso. Got this whole list of videos I need to go back and watch. So since we're winging it tonight, can anyone tell me what my fetish this year is with the peppers? First person to tell me is going to get written down on the prize list. Badass. Thanks for coming in. I have many fetishes. My worst fetish for the garden is peppers. That's what they call me. In fact, it was on this channel that someone called me Hot Pepper Chick, and it kind of stuck. So I'm the Hot Pepper Chick. But every year I focus on a different area of the world, and I half my fun is doing the research on the cuisines of that region and finding the unique peppers to that region of the world. And I actually have a license to import seeds from those countries, which I did last year.
Winner.
Huh?
You got a winner.
I got a winner. Who's the winner? Who? To get the exotic peppers. Who's the winner?
Almost Homestead.
Almost. I'm not seeing. Yes! Almost homesteading. Okay, almost homesteading. We're going to go shopping at Baker Creek together in a little bit, okay? I'm going to let you pick a pepper. You want something from India if they've got it? Yeah. All you need to do really is, you see my email that's going across the bottom of the screen? Shoot me an email with your chat name and your real name and address, and whatever pepper we pick will get sent to you, okay? Yeah. You trust my pepper picking. Well, the thing is, I don't know what your preferences are. What kind of foods you like to eat? Do you want to go hot? And I don't do super hot unless you really want super hot. I did plant some super hots this year, and that was the end of my super hot seed. I'm not doing any more after this year. That's what I say. Because I support my gardening habit by selling plants in the spring. And one year people said, "Are you going to do the super hots?" And I got a list of things that people were looking for. I germinated them all, and no one bought any. So last year I didn't do any super hots, and I had several customers come into my market booth asking for it. So this year we're doing it again. I used up the rest of my seed, but pepper seeds can be good 5 to 7 years. I just put them all in, and whatever comes up, comes up. So, but of course, if people start buying them, I'll pull a couple of plants for seed for next year. So, almost homesteading is thinking about peppers. I am growing some of the hottest peppers in the world, Dark Lord. Death Spiral, Moruga scorpions, Trinidad scorpions, Jahut Bolokia, however you say that. Those are actually ghost peppers because they grow those in India. So I've got an Indian variety of that. Almost homesteading. We started going to these weekend markets in last June, and I do more than plants. I do whatever I can produce on the homestead. I do a lot of crafting. So right now I'm really heavy into crafting, and I'm playing with resin, and my crocheting that isn't really selling that well, but my earmuffs I sold out of them a couple of times, but they were impulse buys when it was cold and people were walking around the market when their heads were freezing. So they'd come throw money at me for my ear warmers. So what I do is I start out the year, I do herbs, tomatoes, and peppers with the crafts. And we do a lot of woodworking with charcuterie boards, cutting boards, cheese cutting boards, turned pens. What else are we doing, Charlie? pizza cutters. You turn the handles, that type of thing. But as the summer goes on, I'll start when the peppers start producing. Then I'll sell the pepper pods. Then we make pepper jellies. I do a hot pepper relish that every time I put it on the table, it sells out. I have little tasting bowls. People come taste. And once they taste that relish, it's gone. It's made with Scotch bonnets. Yeah, I'm growing some ghost peppers. It'll turn you into a ghost. Some of these super hots can actually cause cardiac arrest. So, don't buy them unless like one pod will do a gallon of hot sauce. Yes, you may message me for some advice. We can talk about it here. There may be other people who would like to learn about the farmers markets. If you think you don't need it, pack it anyhow because you might. When you're talking live plants, we only have so much room for things we can carry. So, if you carry 2 trays of hot peppers back and forth for a couple of markets, by the time you're at the third market, they're so beat up, you're not going to be able to sell them. So, yeah, we still have the first aid kit in the car, Charlie.
Don't know.
We need to make sure it's there. Yeah. So what do you want to know about setting up the market? Because it's still a learning experience for us. We've learned that in Georgia anyway, you need a business license. And we put our Etsy page name under our main business, and the name of our business is Heirloom Herbs and Edible Flowers. It's an LLC. And then we put our Etsy page, which is called Crafts by Lisa, the letter N like in Nancy and Charles. So it's Crafts by Lisa and Charles. And I'm just redesigning that page with what we have to offer. I should probably go grab my pens if you want to see. This is a new product that we're doing, our bling pens. Maybe Badass is jelly. What did I miss? You registered your name, made it an LLC. Right. But you need to be careful in saying that you own it. If you have an LLC, you're considered a member. You have members. Okay? No one person owns your LLC. It's a member. And you need to have... I'm going to go grab my pens. Let Charlie explain that to you. Charlie, would you explain this to them? Would you come over about the LLC and what it does for you and how to use the verbiage? Wait till you see.
5-second delay.
Wait till you see what he has in his arms here.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Hope you can. So, an LLC is considered a separate entity. So you don't own an LLC, you're a member of the LLC. It's considered a separate form of life. And because of that, it has its own existence. And it's not owned by people, you have members. And instead of a CEO, Chief Executive Officer, you have a Chief Executive Member. And everybody else is various members, depending on how you set up the LLC. No biting. No biting. No biting. So, any questions about the LLC? I'm getting to hear myself speak through my headphones over on my computer. About a 5-second delay.
Okay, did you talk about why an LLC is good and
Well, I didn't say why it was good. The whole concept of an LLC is you're trying to limit your liability. That's the LL part, limited liability company. It's not a corporation, it's a company. And as far as the government's concerned, it's a separate entity. It exists upon its own, so it's not really owned by anybody. You can have a set of members. What?
she's got some questions.
Oh,
Gonna have to scroll up.
the chief member, yeah. You can have a single member LLC. You can have a 2-member LLC.
Squeeze in.
And you can have as many members as you want. For a multi-member LLC.
Hey, Mike. Okay, so she's registered her name. So she's a single member LLC. Well, who is your web hosting service provider? How much data can you upload to the FTP? If so, how much you pay for web hosting? We're not doing a web page yet.
I mean, it's
We-
not.
We kind of
Terrible.
had one. I had a blog, but somehow got locked out of my own blog. And
Nope,
Charlie's
that
been meaning to
easy
work
one.
on that, but hasn't.
He
So
wants
we
to
don't
eat
know
me.
the answer to that. Feisty Kitty, yeah, that cat loves him. Let's see. Also, would she be the chief member, right?
Well, if it's a single member LLC, then yeah, the one member is the chief executive member. If you have a multi-member LLC, then you can set up the whole structure you want, but you're still supposed to have a single chief executive member who acts as the contact for government if they need some type of strangeness going on.
She's asking, does she need to make it like a board or anything?
No.
Am I able to be the only member?
Yes.
Hey, Gail.
Single member LLCs are pretty common. It's where someone wants to run a business, but they want to separate the liability from themselves.
Is there any benefit for making my hubby a member?
Well, if he's going to help manage it.
Like Charlie does the taxes, and that was the next thing I need to tell you. Every little city that we go to for a festival, some may require you to have insurance, so we'll buy insurance for that one festival. Others expect you to have a license for their county. And I mean, before you,
license.
yeah, business license. So before you sign up for a festival, you need to research what's involved for that particular location. And in the state of Georgia, we have to file taxes on whatever money we make that month.
Well, the state sales tax.
State and you need to know your sales tax for the area you go into, because it's going to change from festival to festival. And that's a
Pain in the butt.
that's he does all the he does all the taxes and the technical stuff, because it's it's above my head, and I do the marketing and the ideas for what we're going to sell, and I do most of the work in the greenhouse. I do design on the woodworking. He does design on the woodworking. We have another member, which is one of our refugee friends who comes, but we really donate to him materials and equipment, and whatever he makes as far as its pens and bottle tops, we give him all that money because he's feeding his family back in Afghanistan. I've got another Afghan person helping me make bling pens, and I'm about to show you which. And now she wants to do bracelets, but
I got a couple of questions here.
you got a couple of questions. Let's go back to the chat.
Oh yeah, different counties can have different sales taxes. And in fact, within Atlanta, I think there's like 5 different sales taxes depending on which part of Atlanta you're in. Now, as for can an LLC protect you from claims of harassment and negligence? Yes and no. The yes part is that if you are acting purely as a member of the LLC, then it will protect you to a certain extent. However, a judge may say that you are not acting as a member of an LLC if you are harassing someone, that you are acting in your own cognizance as a thing, because the LLC would not normally harass anybody.
Yeah. If he's worried about harassment, you have to ask yourself, what is he up to?
Yeah. Or negligence for that matter.
Yeah.
Negligence, that's also
Hey, Simply Vigo.
One of those things where if he's trying to protect himself from negligence while wanting to be negligent toward people, then a judge will probably just say, no, that's not going to happen. But for things like someone trips and falls on your property, especially a farm property, then yeah, it will protect you to a certain extent, because it's a farm and it's not expected as a farm to be as safe an area as, say, a well-maintained shopping center. Still, the person can try to sue the LLC, and here's where your protection comes in. Say they do sue the LLC. If the land is still in your name, they can't touch the land. So what happens?
So protects your property.
So what happens typically is the LLC will rent use of the land, and
it's complicated.
Then they can sue the LLC, and worst comes to worst, you collapse the LLC. Now, if you do that too often, judges will go, no.
Also, if you plan on, like, we make and sell jelly, and I have unique flavors of jelly made with my extremely hot peppers, and pairing it with fruit and other ingredients that combinations you may not think of. In the state of Georgia, we can sell jelly that as long as it's been processed properly. But any other item that you sell that's edible, like if you're doing muffins and cakes and pies and things like that, has to be produced in a certified kitchen. You have to have passed a course on food handling and cross-contamination. What else? And have a cottage license if you're going to be doing it from home, which means the state will come and inspect you. And if you have pets, like we do, they're not going to pass the kitchen no matter how clean you keep it. But if you have jellies that are sealed in a hot water bath, and which has a certain level of acidity to it, then you're okay. But that's just about the only thing that we can produce that we won't get in trouble for, without having to you can rent space in a certified kitchen, but the ones around here, you have to subscribe and pay every month $400 a month to be subscribed. And I'm not making that much on the jelly, so it's not worth it. So we just do a very limited amount of edibles. Does that answer your question? And she says she's not brave enough to make anything for human consumption. And we felt that way until we learned about the jelly being okay. And we're pretty meticulous when it comes to cleanliness with that. We have a very, very expensive dishwasher, top of the line, that does the sanitation mode that you can't touch. When it's done, you've got to crack that door and leave it for like half an hour to 40 minutes where you can even touch the items that have been sanitized. So $25 per hour here to rent a commercial kitchen. I don't know about the dried herbs aspect, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
We have a restaurant grade dryer for dried herbs, but I'm not selling my mixes. I'm giving them away at live. So just as a disclaimer, y'all, if I send you tea and you get sick, it's on you, okay? Boy, that smelled good. I'm gonna sniff it again. Oh, well, if you no thanks somewhat, almost homesteading. You're gonna make them for like teas or for including in baked goods. If you're going to do baked goods, I don't know what your state's going to require, but for me, I'd have to rent that kitchen for the baked goods. And once you've been through you cooking something, you're killing whatever bacteria that's in it if it's cooked properly, right? No, you can dry your lavender in your oven or get I bought, it was like a $500 10 tray restaurant grade dehydrator, and you can get it from restaurant supply companies and they're certified. And you take your herbs directly from that and put it in a sealed glass container. You should be okay for using that in cooking, I would think. But you need to check on your state's regulations, okay? And like when we went for our Gwinnett County, we live in Gwinnett County, Georgia. We went for the county license one last week, Charlie, because we keep running into fairs now that we're expanding. I'm doing 2 fairs a month this year, requiring this certain license. And we went in, and the lady behind the counter was really helpful. What we can do and what we can't do. And I forgot totally what I was going to say. But there are different licenses for different things. And she said, "Are you selling plants?" And I said, "Yes." And she says, "Well, you've got to go to the ag department and get certified as a nursery." And I had already called the ag department because I sell plants, and they asked me how much land do I have, and I said 3/4 of an acre, and they said, "That's not big enough. How big is your greenhouse?" And I said 25 by 12, and they went, "You're too small. You don't need a license. You can't produce enough for us to worry about the number of plants you're selling." So fine, that's all I needed. I said, send me an email, confirm that we've got that, so I'm safe there. So these are all the things you need to think about. And what I would do is open up what's it called, the spreadsheet, Excel. Open an Excel sheet and make a list of things that licensures, as you research, that you need to do and what it's going to cost you. And then we registered our LLC with a firm that's in another city that has friendlier regulations there, or a little less expensive. In fact, we just got our notification today to renew our license there, and our tax number is going to be $150 this year. So look at all that before you start committing yourself to markets, because you don't want to be at a market and have some official walk over and say you don't have the right permitting and shut you down. It's embarrassing and it'll make you feel terrible. But be prepared going in is all I can say. And we started with just a few items, and we keep expanding what we offer because we're really popular and we keep selling out of certain things. And we're learning that people's tastes and what they're looking for definitely changes with season. So now that we're going into spring, I'm really hoping I get good germination on these peppers this year. So we'll have this variety of peppers, because I'm sure the people who bought from me last year are going to be looking for me this spring. So, okay. Dry herbs in large wedding bags. Mike says he will. You know what Mike did? He did a video today where a mouse got run over by a car. Mike, I'm so upset. Did y'all see Mike's video today with the mouse that got run over by the car? It's terrible. Okay, the herbal creams and balms, also make sure your labeling is complete with all the ingredients. You say ingredients, and then you put in the order of concentration. So the first item is the ingredient that's the highest the concentration down to the smallest with the last ingredient. And then you have to have your phone number and business name on the label for people to contact you. Yeah, I got certified in herbal medicine. It's a preliminary, or it's a basic certification in herbal medicine, and I do healing salves with herbs that I grow in the yard, beeswax from my husband's beehives, shea butter, and coconut oil. And it's just very simple. I do 2 salves, one using comfrey and one using plantain weed. Very healing, and they're popular only at certain times of year, which is kind of interesting. She's using her home as a registered address, Charlie. So I think you need to register address outside your home to protect your home.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what do you say to that? Does she need to change that?
Use a registered agent. Yes.
Can you hear him? Use a registered agent with a different.
Most.
Come over where they can hear you, baby.
Yeah, I'm coming through. So most states require someone to be present at the registered address of the LLC during standard business hours in case one of their agents or something shows up and wants to talk to them about something. And this can make it difficult for, a single member LLC because technically they have to be present at their registered address for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, instead of being able to go out and do whatever it is they want to do. The solution to this is what's called a registered agent, where you pay the registered agent a certain amount of money every year, and they act as that point of contact for the state. And, they just make their living sitting there waiting for the state to contact them, because they may have 500 or 600 LLCs using them as a registered agent. And they probably do other things, but a regular business where they can just, act as a point of contact for the state.
Can I get everybody to give me a thumbs up? It helps with the algorithm. Share me out a little bit. That's just a quick commercial.
P.O. box is better for an address. No. Most places will not allow a P.O. box as a registered address because as I say, they want someone to be there where they can talk to that person if, if some conflict resolution or something comes up, or, the state says, oh, you forgot to do this, I need to send you this bit of paper or something like that. Yeah. Well, yeah, you do need to look at the rules in the state you're in, or the rules in which you have registered the LLC. In Georgia, they require someone to be there. A lot of LLCs will register in New Jersey. New Jersey has some relatively lax rules.
So you can register your LLC in a different state. So
yeah. Now, the state that you do business in may require some type of registration there as well.
So So did Gail ask about tincture or salve? I think salve. Did I miss something?
There was something about saws, beeswax.
Yes, salve. Each salve is going to have different components in it depending upon what you want to do. And it's just my personal opinion, Gail, that if you do multiple ingredients, like let's say you're going to put plantain weed for healing, wound healing and pain reduction, and then add calendula for soothing of the skin to your salve. With each of those, someone may have an allergic reaction to A, but not B. So I like to keep my salves single purpose and not add other components. Like if I wanted to do a skin rejuvenation or skin softening, I'd put calendula. And anyone interested in buying that, I'd say, if you're allergic to Asteraceae, then you don't want to try this on your skin. It'll irritate your skin rather than smooth it. So that's where taking herbal medicine courses will help you look at components you may want to combine, whether it's a tea or a salve or a tincture. You've got to know what type of person may react negatively if you're going to be selling it. You need to be prepared to answer those questions. And I'll type in the chat here the name of the school. I did the full immersion program, which is a 2.5-year program. It's like 2,000 academic hours where you start with learning how to build your soil, how to create your garden, how to grow various herbs. And then once you've done all that and you're taking tests throughout the whole thing, once you've done that, then they put you through modules where you're actually making your salve, making your tincture, making your extracts. What do they call it when you evaporate it, Charlie? And you actually get the condensed oils from. Terms just going. I'm having a senior moment, but they have you go through those steps, and at the end, if you've passed everything, then they send you a pretty little certificate that they print out on a printer. But what's most important is you've got the knowledge to have more confidence and some basic recipes that you can use. And then they have classes on how to start your herbal business. So it's I'm going to type it into the chat. And this is they give you like 2.5 years to complete the full immersion program. And they're out of North Carolina, and it's all online. When I went through it, it was the beginning of COVID. And I actually did it in about a year because I already knew a lot of the stuff. I just went in and took the tests. And I passed the test, so I skipped to the things I didn't know. Like I knew the basic gardening and the soil building and the botanical names I knew. It's real important that you learn the botanical names for something because the same herb can be called colloquially something that doesn't even resemble what the herb is, and the colloquial term can stand from a different herb in a different part of the world. So, it's best to know your botanical names. Alfonso says he's heard that some states are no longer allowing new LLCs due to gross negligence and harassment or safety violations. I don't know what you mean about harassment. Okay, almost. I just typed the name in down below. Did you see it? Dark Lord, they'll send the cops after you. Hydrosol. Yes, thank you. Oh. Okay. Survival Seed 2024 collab. make one of the salves, Gail? Exactly. Almost homesteading. Exactly. And you need to look into your LLC, Gail. Are you paying your dues every year? Right. So anyway, that's what our crazy thing is. I wanted to show you what my young teenager Afghan girl is making. She came out last weekend, and I taught her how to do this. And oh my gosh, is this girl an artist? Her color combinations, and to be the first time ever working with resin or with beads for these pens is amazing. I'm going to send Charlie a. Do you know the resin that Moon made for the necklaces that's on the table, curing? Would you grab those? I'll show. There's a little mold with like 4 pieces in it, Charlie. Could you go grab it? It's crazy. I keep sending him out of the room. I'm going out of the room. Anyway, so this is one form of what I call a bling pen. And that's an ink pen. And those are beads. And I need to go put a round thing on top and glue it down for the ending of this pen. But that's one design, and it's got Tibetan designs on the pewter or whatever that is, metal. And I made these 3. This is another one. It's got a little charm, a bee charm. And if you're into meditation, that's a Buddha. Oop.
I guess that's it.
And no, that's a square thing with like there'll be pendants, but I'll show them that too. He is so good. Isn't he good? Yes, Alfonso, every type of plant, usually a 6.5 to a 7 pH is, most plants will survive in that. But if you want them to thrive, you need to look at the pH requirements for each individual thing. Survival seed. Yeah, Gail, talk about your collab with us. Okay, you have to be careful. Are you going to be selling the tinctures, Gail, or is it for your own use? Okay, so this is the less expensive pens. That's made with a Bic. Like one of these pens, you take the pen part, the ink part out. And a lot of people will make these as one-use pens and just throw them away when it runs out of ink. And I'm like, no, that's so wasteful. So I have figured out how to make it so you could take those cartridges out and go buy you a cheap Bic pen, take the cartridge out and stick it right back in and still have it stay together. I think I'm brilliant, but the way I'm doing it is taking my resin and curing the resin, and it's painstaking. Putting resin in between the beads, and I can only do 2 or 3 beads at a time and put it under a UV light to harden. So it's a process, but they're no longer single use. And then these bling pens, this is one of hers that she made, and it's made with what's called bubblegum beads. See that? That's got a charm on it. It looks like a feather. And this is one of hers. It's got a little dolphin on it. See that? The color's not coming across on YouTube. It's got a Hamza hand on it. Guess who's on my desk? That's not for you. That's not for you. Help. I'm going to hold these up real quick for you because I've got a visiting cat. But you get the idea, right? On the bling pens. These are like $15 each. It looks like this, only it's got like a daisy. Like it's a black one with a daisy. And I didn't mean for this to turn into a craft video, a craft live. But we're doing, like this is a bookmark, and that'll get a tassel on the top of it. Easter's coming up, so we're doing a lot of things with crosses on them. And I would think that could be used in a Bible to bookmark in a Bible. This is her very first bookmark that she made. So that's what Church really does on the weekends with little refugee girls. And so she doesn't have to go out and babysit and stuff like that. She doesn't understand our culture yet. Cute for a baby. Let's see. The cute for a baby. Yeah.
That one?
Okay. Yes, you rock, Charlie. These will be necklaces. You see the hole where the holes are? That little dot right there becomes a hole. And right now I'm trying to find the things you clamp into it so you can put string or whatever you're going to use for the necklace there. Craft lives are excellent. I'm going to have to start making them. And I'm wondering if my camera, this is my camera I use. Does this do Wi-Fi, Charlie, so I can go live with it from the other room? Yeah, it does. We'll have to figure out the technology, and I'll start doing live crafts videos. Would you all enjoy that? Who'd come? Show of hands. Who'd come to a live crafts video and learn stuff? And this is, I did these. Anyway, so I digress. Are we having fun yet? A bale. Is that what you call it? The little pinch things? Almost homesteading would come to a craft video. Okay, I'm looking for thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. 11 of them so far. Cool beans. Okay, so what I have done, trying to get ready for tonight and you all, because all that what we just talked about was impromptu, is I put together photographs from years gone by, just some things from our life that I thought maybe you would enjoy seeing. Let me see. How did we share photos, Charlie? We do present, share screen, window.
And pick the window that you want them to see.
I always get this. Okay, I need your help. I need help. You know, y'all know I need help. I got this far. We got this far. Okay, so we do present, share screen.
Yeah, pick the screen you want to share. Go to the window, the middle tab. Middle tab. There you go. Pick the window you want to show.
I don't want the whole window. I just want a picture.
Well, then you need to open the picture up first to create a window with the picture.
Like that?
Yeah, now go back to the other thing. Now it's gone again. You're going to have to open it back up.
We go through this every week, y'all.
Now, go back to your other thing. There you go. Now pick that one.
Ah. All right.
There you go.
All right. Who knows what this is? Who knows who that is? Who is this? I'm trying to catch up on chat. Y'all have been talking while I've been trying to figure that out. It's called a bale. That's my hubby. Yes, that's Charlie. About 15 years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Duvali, or however it's spelled. That's a really good guess, Mike. Actually, this is taken from when I was doing journalism. My niche that I really wanted to concentrate on was culture and religion. And as the profession began shrinking and they started firing reporters, we eventually had to do every kind of reporting out there. So I did investigation, crime reporting. But this was my niche, which was religion. And this is a Hindu festival that happens in the spring that's called Holi, Holi. And for some of my assignments, I brought Charlie with me. And the Indian women loved him. They were all over him. And part of this festival is they take colored powder and they smear it on each other. And it's like they'll rent a park or pavilion in a park. And they have food, they've got dancing, they've got games. But everybody runs around smearing colored powder on each other. And it's a spring thing. Spraying silly string and shaving lotion and whatever. And every time I turned around, they were attacking Charlie. Now, I had told him before I brought him along to this to not wear any fancy clothes. I would just wear like an old t-shirt or something because I knew this was going to happen. Yeah, it gets everywhere. That's right, Dark Lord. It was hilarious. Look at him. All these women all over him. And a lot of you have heard me joke about I turned my husband into a white man. Well, he's got a lot of Native American blood in him. And if you look at his hand here, his arm, you see his natural color is the same color as these people from India. But he started turning white on his hands and his fingers. And now his whole body is this color white. He's whiter than I am. And I joke with him. And I said, that's what you get for marrying a white woman. I bleach you while you sleep. But anyway, so that's Charlie. His hair was this most beautiful dark brown. And of course, we're both old farts now, so we're both white-haired. Hey, Deborah, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. So I thought you all would like to see that. If you get bored, let me know. Okay. This cutie. This cutie is playing the violin. And she was at the Lochapoka Syrup Sop in Lochapoka, Alabama, which was my first date with Charles back in 1980. But I went back, we went back for our 30th anniversary of our first date. And then the next year they quit having the festival. But I just thought she was something else. You should have heard her play. She was doing like bluegrass, Charlie, fiddling. It wasn't violin, it was a fiddle. It was fiddle. It was wonderful. Here's one that's taken after we moved here to Georgia in 2014. And this is someone who shows up on my property every year. And if you've been watching my videos, or if you go back in my video library, you'll see me with this friend that we have. Do I need to make that bigger? Can you all see that?
Yeah, make it bigger.
Make it bigger. How do I make it bigger now? My make it bigger thing isn't here. Y'all gonna have to put up with that small snake. Yeah, that's a eastern black rat snake, and I've got videos of me holding it, and you can tell it's different years because my hair looks different. But I've got videos of taking it into the chicken house, y'all, and holding it up so it could get up in the roof and eat the rats that were coming in. And during one hunting adventure with the snake, it ate 4 rats while I was holding. Well, its tail was wrapped around my wrist. I had to stand there while it did that. No, it's a almost homesteading. It's an eastern black rat snake, and it's got a white belly with splotches on it. They are so calm and so tame that when I see her, I go over and I poke her with my finger, and she curls into a ball, and I just pick her up and off we go to hunt together. But in fact, there was a video, was it last summer, Charlie, that she ate the fake egg?
Yeah.
I made the mistake of using a wooden fake egg in the chicken house because they were pecking their eggs and eating them. And she ate the egg, and I had to take her to the University of Georgia for emergency surgery. And she ended up being a he. But we had surgery, and after he healed, we turned him loose. We saw him twice more during the summer, but we also saw 3 other black racers in the yard.
Show them that one and see if they
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, how many of you, admit it, how many of you leave your farm equipment, like your pitchforks and shovels, in the garden where they might fall over on the ground? Yeah, the snake was really happy. Yeah. Look for the video, Almost Homesteading. It's in there. It's in the library. Thumb through. Mike says he misses his snakes. Stupid city sprayed for mosquitoes years ago and killed everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dark Lord, you're guilty? Let's hope you never have this happen.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Okay, how many people yelled like Charlie did?
Oh.
Hey, David, welcome. You came right in at the right time. No comment. Y'all aren't saying anything. Is everyone sitting there going, oh? I bet he learned his lesson. This is a recent photo that comes from the video I made for my new channel. I died, NDE, near-death experience. I actually put makeup on for that one. I'm figuring homesteading people don't care if I wear makeup, right? So this is me raw. But that's what I look like when I put a face on. Yeah, that took some work. Mike says, ow. Yeah, Nikki, as it makes you hurt looking at it, doesn't it? So this is one of my favorite pictures of myself, my recent favorite pictures of myself anyway. Okay. High school prom, y'all. Little bit of a story behind this picture. I was absolutely head over heels with my boyfriend in high school. His name was Jack. And he dumped me on the day before senior prom. So my best friend was this young man that lived 2 or 3 houses down from me in Charlotte, North Carolina, and his name was Barry Gordimer. And Barry stepped in and says, "I'll take you to prom." He was probably a year behind me in school. And the only tuxedo that was available in town was this powder room blue. And so we kind of joked and said we went as toilet paper, matching powder toilet paper colors. And he always makes me laugh, Barry. We're still very good friends. He's sticking my little finger up his nose here. It's Barry's fault I became a journalist. When he graduated from college, he had worked part-time on campus for the National Public Radio Station. Who in here listens to Morning Edition? Show of hands. Morning Edition on NPR to Washington. That's Barry's show. He has been, he started out in Charlotte, and then they went out west, and he was a producer for Prairie Home Companion, if you remember that show on NPR. And ever since the late 80s, he has been producer director of Morning Edition on NPR, and he's about to retire, I think. But we're good friends. It's his fault I got into journalism, so I can blame him for all my adventures. But that's Barry Gordimer. No one's saying anything. Is everybody leaving? No, we gained people. Great. Are you all enjoying this, or should I stop, or you want me to keep going? I've got a bunch of pictures. I've got to at least show you 3 more. Okay. That's my last press pass. That's my photo for my last press pass. National Public Radio, NPR, David. Dark Lord is still cringing from the pitchfork. Okay. People want me to keep going. So what do you think? Have I changed in all these pictures? That was the shortest my hair was. Back when I used to wear makeup every day too. Now, you already know that I have odd pets, right? I rescued reptiles, and this was an African spur-thigh tortoise. I look angry in that pic. Yeah, I look real angry when I concentrate. People, say I make the angriest face when I'm concentrating. And I say it's because it hurts to think. Yes, that's an sulcata, or African spur-thigh tortoise. It's the 3rd largest land tortoise in the world, behind the Galapagos tortoise. They grow to 150 pounds. That was Mr. Magoo. I had him since he was this big. And people don't realize that when they get these tortoises, that they get so big, and they'll dump them in the Everglades or turn them loose or whatever. But they're so popular because they're easy to raise that people will breed them, and they don't give the mother tortoises enough calcium in their diets. So when these guys hatch, you see the breakage in the shell. You see in the front, over his front leg, that's breakage, because when he was hatched, his shell was too soft and it just cracked and crumbled. They can live more than 100 years, almost homesteading. David, really? How long ago was that? You should know Barry. You should know his name. Barry Gordimer. Anyway, so then you've got the spiking on the dome because his system was so messed up for so many years trying to get his metabolism straight. The dog is one of our boxers. Her name was Moaner, Moaner, because she talked all the time, moaned and sang and whatever. David's back. Hey, David. Okay, I want y'all to name this guy in the photo with me. You ready? First person to name him gets a prize. Who was that with me?
There you got one.
Ah, there's Nikki. Nikki won something. Is Nikki the first one?
I think Dark Lord.
Dark Lord was the first. Sorry, Nikki. Dark Lord, think about what you want. I'll offer you tea, a bag of fava beans, or your choice of seed from Baker Creek. Think about what you want, please. Slapper man, Mike. I tell you what. This was taken in Delray Beach, Florida. I was volunteering at a trade school that was actually designed and implemented by two local police officers. They targeted Haitian kids that were dropping out of high school and getting into trouble to try to teach them a trade and get them, get them earning money. But it ended up using just for all at-risk kids. And he and Lawrence Martin, whatever his name is, were in town shooting the last of the Bad Boys movies. They blew up a mansion in Delray Beach. If you remember the Bad Boys movies where they blew up a mansion, that was Delray Beach. And they were in town. They had read an article I had written about them in the local newspaper. And they came out to visit the school. Now, Martin Lawrence was this Lawrence Martin or Martin Lawrence? Anyway, he looked at me, and I've got kind of an ample rear end, and all he could do is look at my booty and talk about my booty. It was really vulgar. But Will is the real McCoy, y'all. He donated money. He went into the classrooms and spoke to the students. He told Johnny Pun, who ran the school, was Officer Pun, who was of Haitian extraction, that if he needed anything, any funding or anything for the school, to call him. And then he turned to me and he gave me his cell phone number, Jada's number, their home address, and said if the school needed anything and Johnny was too shy to reach out, to call him and he would be there for these kids. So when this whole slapping thing happened and everyone's freaking out because he lost his temper, I'm like, you really don't know the man. He didn't have to help these kids, yet he really did. He did help them. And I would still have his contact information had I not been robbed at gunpoint. And I had my address book in my bag over my shoulder, and they took my bag. So I lost all my source contacts and whatever. And that's when I stopped carrying a purse. But that's my story with Mr. Smith. He was the real thing, and boy, is he handsome. He was really, really handsome. Wait, what? What are you saying, David? Okay, I gotta scroll up. Fresh Prince, yeah. Oh, almost homesteading. He was, and his whole charm is just would melt you. I mean, I don't usually stutter in the presence of famous people. I mean, I've interviewed heads of state and have been tough as nails and not been flustered, but standing next to, I was flustered. I must have been attracted to him or something, but I admitted that in front of Charlie. Yeah, I had Will Smith's number and Jada's number. Yeah, Dark Lord, there was a lot of personal things going on for him, I'm sure. And to tell you the truth, if someone had insulted me like that, I would expect my husband to stand up for me too. I mean, she's going through a tough time. self-image and things with her hair loss and whatever, and they were having some rockiness in their marriage. Yeah, he had a lot of stress on him. Should he have done it? You know, disciplined the joke in a different way, perhaps, but I'd want my man to stand up for me like that.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am. I did a lot of work from home there in Florida, and here I am sitting at my computer, a lot younger, with my bearded dragon on my shoulder. And yes, my house is always a mess. I won't lie. But that's natural color in my hair. Yeah. If someone insulted you, your husband would probably do more than slap. Well, that's good. I mean, did I ever call him? Yes, once or twice, and he remembered me. He remembered me. He really, that's when he still lived in Miami. I can keep Wilson, give you Jada's. Lizard, yeah, bearded dragon and a kitty on my desk. This had to have been, my mother died in 2005, and that was her cat. So this had to have been 2005 or 2006. Thank you. Should I keep going? I got a few more. 2005, 2006. So I was in my 40s. I was probably about 46 years old there. Have you all seen the videos that I do with my cat hat, where I'm sitting on the couch and I've got a blanket up to my chin and I've got 2 or 3 cats, and then I've got a golden cat on my head, my cat hat? This is gun? You mean fun? Okay. This is my basket of rescue kittens brought to me in 2004. And these kitties, their eyes were just opening. A friend of mine who rescues opossums and other wildlife brought them to me. They were found under a palm tree. The mother had been squished in the road, and she snatched these babies up and brought them to me. And I actually bottle fed them. I found homes for all of them but 2. And the cat you see on my head in my shorts is the red cat in this basket. Yeah, and I think that black and white one's Brucey the garden cat. Well, he's in the basket somewhere. That's too bad, Mike. And this picture just cracks me up. This is Charlie this fall. What were you doing? Were you biting into something? The hot pepper? I think he was trying some of my hot pepper jelly. Oh. I just love that picture. Y'all see this video this week? I know David Corey went to see it. Stay away from the canned cheeses. Yeah. Okay, Dark Lord, thank you. What you can understand, almost homesteading, is he can't take heat. I eat the really hot stuff and he doesn't. It makes dinner time amusing sometimes. So we've dropped 70 varieties of peppers, and I'll go through the different varieties in subsequent videos and live broadcasts and give you a chance to either win a plant or win some seeds or a pod. But it's going to be a wow. We need to see David, my heat the heat in the greenhouse went up to 106. And I'm hoping we didn't cook the seed. Charlie, it's 38 out there. Did you hear me? Baby.
Okay.
Okay. He needs to go start the heaters in the greenhouse. It's down to 38 degrees now. Yeah, David, that was awful, wasn't it? Your eyes were watering after that video. I already knew when I plant my peppers, it's going to be like that video. Just handling the soil, I was choking. It was, it's a seed. I was choking. David Corey, what is this that I grew? David Corey, identify this. Yeah, 106. It was just that way for a couple of hours. You think I killed all my seed? Dragon fruit. Deborah. Deborah, you're going to have a choice of Sleepy Time tea, fava beans, or I'll buy you a package of seed, a Baker Creek seed. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat which of those you want, and I'll write your price down. So yeah, this is dragon fruit, and I grew it from a piece that was like this long, that fell off at, I can't try to remember the name of the nursery, Pine Ridge, Pine Tree. Anyways, in Homestead, and they said, go ahead and take it home and stick it in some soil. And your dragon fruit has to be, correct me if I'm wrong, David, because I know David Corey grows these. It has to be, I think, 10 feet long before it starts blooming. Is that right? So it grew all the way up a trellis and overhung before it bloomed, and the blooms are amazing. And they open up at night, and they're only open one night. So we'd stalk this bloom, and I'll have to try to find the photo of the bloom that I have and share it on the next live. Deborah wants seeds. Deborah, can you multitask and go to Baker Creek and pick out some seed? And send it to me in an email with your mailing address, okay? Yeah, the weather's crazy. This was my Tennessee walking horse. Her name was Rose. And I had a neighbor who raised Tennessee walking horses, and it was a professional trainer rider, and she would go off to horse shows, and I would take care of her barn while she was gone. And she had a very old horse she was like 35 years old, and I knew that she was kind of quirky when she started to colic. She'd stick her head in the corner of the stall and flip her bottom lip. And of course, when Renee went to show her horses, the mare colicked, and I was able to call somebody coming up my driveway with a flashlight. So, I got distracted. I'm sorry. Her horse colicked, and I got the vet out, and we actually saved the horse's life, and I sat up with her all night. So when Renee comes back, she says, she and her father, they said, pick out a horse. I don't want one of your horses. Pick out a horse. You saved our first horse. She's like the family, the love of the family, and I wouldn't choose a horse. So I came home from work one day, and this mare was in my pasture. And she was a world champion racking Tennessee walking horse. And I had just broken my back, and I thought I was going to have to quit riding, because when I'd get on a horse that did a trot, the percussion would be so bad that my compression fracture in my back would compress, and I would be paralyzed from the waist down. But I could ride this horse. because she didn't trot. They didn't have their percussion going on. And I had her for years and years. Anyway, that's Rose. Yeah, it might be a delivery, Mike. Yeah, so they gave me this horseshoes. I would never have been able to afford to buy a horse like this. I had another horse given to me years later when I had moved. That was in Opelika, Alabama, and we moved to Gainesville, Florida for graduate school. Charlie was working on his PhD, and I was working on a master's, and teaching disabled kids how to ride. And someone raised thoroughbreds and gave me a secretariat granddaughter, but that's another story. This is my friend Susie DeGrasse. She's an amazing wildlife rehabilitator. She's fully licensed, and she does rabies vector species, RVS species. I don't do those because I never got my shots, my rabies shots. And here she is with a fox. This fox was grateful for her taking it in and healing it. And when it was healed, it turned wild again and she couldn't handle it. So she was able to release it with confidence that it was going to be okay. But Susie's a saint. She runs a nonprofit. It's called Primarily Possums. She also does bats and songbirds, which need special licensing. So if you're apt to give to charity, look up Primarily Possums with Susie. That's good, almost homesteading. And I do the reptiles. I do reptiles and possums and squirrels and small non-rabies vector species. I've got the scars to prove it, right? This is taken in my yard. And we expect some of these this spring. Oh, it's one of the first large trees to bloom here. Hey, Bud Files, welcome, welcome. And this is the tree. I'm standing at my house and looking down over the yard. Who knows what kind of tree that is? Who knows what kind of tree this is? What kind of magnolia, Suzanne? Mike, I have like a, it's like a piece of, I don't want to say hardware cloth because it's black with holes in it, with a wooden frame that hangs on a shepherd's hook. And that's where I put peanuts and pieces of corn, pieces of like broccoli or whatever, tomatoes in the summer. And that's where the squirrels go first. And they basically leave the bird feeders alone as long as I've got food in that square hanging feeder for them. They leave the bird feed alone. It's a magnolia, but I'm looking for what type of magnolia that is. Saucer magnolia, close. Still looking for it. Keep guessing. All sorts of types. First person to give me the right name of it gets a prize. This is from my front yard. And that is ginger. And it's ginger that overwinters and comes back every year. So those of you who live zone 8, zone 7, and even some people in zone 6. If you plant your ginger and mulch it really well in the wintertime, it is possible to grow it. No, it's a big tree, Dark Lord. Yes, I grow ginger and I grow turmeric. Here I am with one of my obsessions. Oh. This is a DK's brown earth snake. And not quite, Suzanne. Think foreign country. These are all around here, and when I'm, I have to garden by sitting down and scooting through the soil because of my back. And these things actually will come out of the soil and come up to me and crawl across my legs. I swear animals know when you're not going to hurt them. But that's as big as it gets. And it dines on worms and slugs and any kind of bug like cockroaches that it can catch. Suzanne got a Japanese magnolia. Okay. Suzanne, you have won your choice between Sleepy Time Tea. This makes you have dreams. No, there's no pot in it. Fava beans, or your choice of one packet of seed from Baker Creek. If you can let me know in the chat which one you're choosing, but then go ahead and send me an email. You know the what I need, your name, your address, and what you won, and I'll get that to you. Yeah, David, you really tried. I'm freaking Nikki out. Nikki, you knew I was weird. You knew. I'm like, yeah. It's like I always root for the underdog, When I was working in journalism, I was always rooting for the underdog, and I root for the underdog now and the misunderstood, because I'm misunderstood much of the time, and you know what I'm talking about, Nikki. So I know what it is to be the odd one in the room. So I like the odd things, and I help the odd things when I can. So, yes, I think I did, Deborah. Let me see. I have Deborah. I've got Jana. I have got Xander. I've got all sorts of commercials, spam email. So if you won something, I'm going to need your email with your mailing address and what you won, please. Say, odd things are the best things. Well, it's tough when you're misunderstood all the time. Okay, I've got one last photo. And the person that can tell me what these are will get a prize, and then we'll have drawings. If no one has chosen these things, we'll have drawings for these things. Okay? Fair enough? You ready? What is this? I'm missing a photo. I'm missing a couple of photos. It's not the last picture, y'all. Oh no, Mike, they sprouted out in a day? Yeah, the green, not the egg. Charlie hasn't come back yet. You think he's got eaten up in the greenhouse by something. Looks like if a green bean and a feather had a baby. When you slice them, they look like little stars. Suzanne got it right. Winged bean. That's 2 prizes, Suzanne. So what did you decide? You wanted, did you say seed? Seed, fava beans, or tea? Don't choke on the egg. So you get 2 choices, Suzanne, but please let me know so I can write it down. You know me, I get confused. This is called a winged bean, as in wings like on a bird. It's also known as a Goan bean, Goan. They're from the southern part of India and Sri Lanka. It grows on a vine that, like, one vine can get like 80 feet long. That is nicknamed the grocery store on a vine, because you can eat the roots, you can eat the stem, you can eat the blossoms, you can eat the beans. The blossoms taste like mushrooms. The stems taste like asparagus. I never tried the roots. But these are kind of tart, kind of lemony. You don't want them to get, see that real long one? That's 1, 2, 3 to the right of the egg. That's a little bit long if you ever grow these. You want them about the size of the one that's to the left of the egg. But I use them in I make a coconut curry out of it with coconut milk, potatoes, onions, garlic, and these beans. And you cook them together and serve that over jasmine rice. And it really is wonderful. When Haiti had that really, really bad earthquake, you remember? I sent 1,000 seeds for this and moringa seeds, because the moringa seeds you can put in a jug of water from the stream, and it kills the bacteria and makes the sediment settle to the bottom of the water, and then you can tap the water up high, if you're using a 2-liter bottle, and it's clean, safe water to drink. So that's what I did after the earthquake that they had back. When was the earthquake? Was it 2005? Does anyone remember when the really bad earthquake happened in Haiti? But the ideal growth temperatures, Nikki, is subtropical. I can get them to grow here in Georgia, and I'll get 1 or 2 beans off of them, but I haven't had that much luck. They'll germinate and they'll grow, and you need to start trying to germinate them in March. You want to soak them a day or 2 and then start them somewhere warm. And I don't have a lot of sun here, Nikki. Maybe they would grow where you are in the sun. But yeah, like Mike said, you're going to want them young and tender. Yeah, moringa seed purifies water. It was 2010. Thank you, Dark Lord. Mike, you want to pop over to Baker Creek and see if they have them for me? Sometimes I see them at Baker Creek. Sometimes I have to order them off of Etsy, because I've used up all the seed I brought with me from Florida. Nikki, you just plant it on the fence and let it crawl that fence. All right. You don't want me to keep going, back up to the ones that for some reason we skipped? All right. Now, you all know I need intervention with this resin thing that I'm just getting into, right? I just bought the mold for this apple bowl. And it came in the mail today. Charlie, were you out front with your flashlight for a bit?
Nope.
Okay, we had a delivery.
Well, yes, I was getting the gas tanks out of the car.
Oh, okay. So that was you. I told everyone someone was coming to get me. Anyway, this came in the mail today. And you pour the resin in this lip. And then this is the lid that goes up top. So I'm going to try my hand at making these. What do you think of that? So they do have them, Suzanne. You know where I found moringa seed? There's a local Asian market, and they'll sell the seeds in a little clear tub. You know, the tub that you get the sliced nuts and dried things. And there's several hundred seed in this tub for $3. I don't buy my seed from Baker Creek for moringa. If you would like me to get some and give them away at drawings, say so in the chat, then I will get this, and we'll see if I can share some of these seeds with you. But you gotta want it. You gotta tell me you need it. Lisa, get some moringa seed next time you go to the Asian market. Anyway, so I'm going to try to make these, and of course, the one I like best is the one with the dried flowers. Which one of those does y'all's eyes go to? The blingy ones or the flower ones? I got Mike interested. Oh, moringa seeds. They're like $5. Yeah. Now, this is one of my new favorite pictures of Charlie and Morris. Yeah, I agree with you, Nikki. I like that floral one. And I was just speaking to Anne's Crafts and Craps. I was in one of her live streams today. And she says in order to use a mold like that with the dried flowers, which are very fragile, I'm going to have to put resin on each individual flower and let that cure and then insert it into the mold to get that effect. So it's going to be a skill and quite a process. But look how this cat will jump up into his arms. Is he in your arms right now?
Yeah.
He's back in Charlie's arms now.
He jumped up in my arms.
And he just loves his daddy. And the bond with these two is just, to me, is an amazing thing. Okay. That's my ugly foot, yes. But do you see this?
Oh.
You see the brown spot? You can see where I broke all my toes too, can't you? But there's this brown spot right here is where a possum, I was changing her kennel out, and I had her on the floor running around, and she came running over and jumped on my foot like it was a rat or something and bit a chunk of flesh out and ate it. No lie.
Show him your nose.
So David Gray, I told you I had scars to prove I do wildlife rescue. She wanted to eat my foot, which I guess means my feet stink. I carry that scar that was before COVID, so it was 5 years ago. I have this old Toyota 1996 long bed T100 pickup truck, and I had it painted this color. And of course, this was during COVID. Look, I double masked. One of these days, I'm going to have a sign printed to put on the side of the truck that says heirloom herbs and edible flowers, gardening classes, and then the green truck would make sense, right? Since I had this painted, I've had people stop at red lights and ask me where I got the truck or where I got it painted, because people actually like this color. You wanted a toe jam sandwich? Well, she got a chunk of my flesh. Never again did I barefoot in front of her. And she did go after my feet a couple more times. So, and she wasn't being mean. She was hungry. David Gray.
Show him your nose.
This, he wants me to show you my nose. I got a scar right here. This mama came to me with a very, very badly broken. If you look down in front of the first baby that's in her armpit, you can see her arm. You see the chunk of flesh there where she had bone sticking out. She had so severely fractured her wrist. And then on her face, she had this chunk of lip ripped out and part of her nose ripped out. And she had all these babies in her pouch. The only thing I could figure out the way she got damaged was there had to have been a bear trap snap on her, because the shape of the break in her foot was so bad, and it must have caught her lip and her hand together. We didn't think she was going to make it. We put her through 4 different antibiotics trying to get this to heal. We had to have her wrist reset. Veterinarian didn't think she was going to make it. Finally, the antibiotic that worked with her, and David, you were a pharmacist, so help me remember the name of what is the antibiotic that they use to cure the bubonic plague? That's the antibiotic I had to use. I had to glove up, double mask, and change my clothes after giving her antibiotic twice a day. It helped her heal, but it also went through her milk, and the veterinarian wasn't sure if it would pass the barrier into the milk, and it did impact the health of 2 of the babies, the nursing babies, and I kept those 2 girls, and those are it was her baby, her older baby that bit my foot, that you see in my avatar, my picture on my channel. They're in a cat sleeping bag, and one's upside down and one's on top. That's her and her daughter. So it's very rare for an opossum to know one of their children their entire life. But she lived with me another 2.5 years, which is a long time. Their lifespan is usually just 2. So she must have been at least 3 years old when she finally passed. But she's one of my success stories, that she had a very small percentage, a chance of surviving, and she did. Yeah, Mike, the things that people do to animals is just, don't let me go there. This is a meditation spot in my yard that was a greenhouse. We had glass over the roof, and I had gone to a flea market and gotten used windows. Lexofloxacin, it wasn't Cipro. It was much stronger than Cipro. Which one of those is so toxic you have to glove up, David? Is it Lexofloxacin? Hey, Simply Vigo. Anyway, my neighbor who likes to call code enforcement on me did so when we made this greenhouse, and complained we didn't have a permit and whatever. And the county had already told me it was okay to build this. But when the inspector came out, he walked in and he said, you can't have all these things with a roof on them. You only allowed so much square footage under a roof. So he made us take it apart. So I turned the perimeter into raised beds on either, and put the bench in to sit down. We put the pavers down. I left the big window, which had been in the greenhouse. But on either side of that blue bench is a senior moment elderberry bush. One's a Johnny, one's an Adams. And if you have 2 different varieties of elderberry, you get a better crop. And one of the pictures coming up is of a plant that I let grow that's black on the black trellis, and that's a gong. When the wind blows, it goes gong, 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 gong. It's kind of fun. streptomycin, gentamicin. He never had a patient with bubonic plague. It could be the doxycycline. I really don't remember. Yeah, I think that's pretty. It's a mess now. I got to go in and clean out. The bushes have totally taken over. I had St. John's wort in the front beds, and it's all been crowded out by now. I lived in Florida and I grew these two things. You got to tell me what both of them are to win something. What are these?
There's three things.
Oh, there are three things. Got to get all three. So you can play the Jeopardy music. Nope, not a persimmon. You got to get all three. Anyway, so while you're guessing, I'm proud of that possum. She never offered to bite even when we were.
Someone got one of them.
Cocoa, star fruit.
Two of them.
But you got to get all three. Nope. Nope, Mike. Try again.
Nope.
Nope, David. Try again.
It's Mexican.
I will tell you the green fruit. I'll give you some hints. It produces the tree that produces this has the most dense shade of any fruit tree in the world. I planted it in front of my Florida home that blocked the eastern, the sunrise. So it shielded the front of my house from intense heat, morning sun. Really reduced my power bill, my air conditioning bill, which can be something else there in Florida. It's not a pawpaw. It's not a tomato, though a lot of people thought it was a tomato. I made flan with this. I made bread with it. You can make it into ice cream.
It is kin to a persimmon.
It is. It's in the same family as persimmon. Is David Corey still in here? David, come on. You're into tropics. What tropical fruit is this? And all three of these trees are in my yard in Florida. Nope, Dark Lord. I think David Corey is doing the star fruit. Not seeing it. It's not sour sop.
Or sweet sop.
Or sweet sop.
It's in the persimmon family.
In the persimmon family. I think we stumped them, Charlie.
What? Yeah, it seems like
10:55. I'll give you to 10:56, and I'll cut off the competition for this one, and I'll let you know what it is. You hear all that clicking? They're all Googling. What the hell is this?
It's black inside.
Okay, Dark Lord, type all three. Type all three. Be the first to type all three. Dark Lord got it. I'll just go ahead and give...
Black
Okay.
Sapote.
Black Sapote. Or Sapote Negro. Tea. Favorite beans or your choice of seed from Baker Creek. Let me know in the chat. Please. Excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. It's also known as the chocolate pudding fruit. Okay. Dark Lord's giving it to you, David. Make a choice of those 3 items, please. Chocolate pudding fruits, kin to persimmon. They sit on the tree and they're not ready to pick until you see. Can you see where the cap is starting to peel up a little bit from the fruit? You have to wait till it starts doing that before you pluck it from the tree. If you pick it too early, it it molds instead of ripens. But it's kind of like an avocado in that you pick it at this stage and you put it on the counter and you leave it for a few days and it'll turn soft, like kind of feels like a water balloon. Okay? And then you slice the top off and scoop out the inside because it literally liquefies. It's called the chocolate pudding fruit tree because it's chocolate brown and it's consistency of chocolate pudding. Now it's very good. You put a pinch of cinnamon and nutmeg and clove in it and mix that up, put a little whipped cream on it. Sometimes I would add some sliced strawberries on top of that and just eat it like that, chilled. It's got a very pleasant, fruity flavor to it, very smooth. I actually germinated one. I've got one in the greenhouse. Hopefully it's going to survive this winter because this will be its 3rd year. It should bloom this year for me. But it'll grow up to zone 9, I think. It'll take a light frost once it reaches a certain height. But if you were to grow it like where Nikki is, or I am here, it needs to live in a pot and get moved inside in the winter, which is our aim. And hopefully it's going to, I think it's still hanging on to some green leaves right now, isn't it, Charlie? Yeah, David really threw himself into that, didn't he, Dark Lord? So, David, have you made a choice whether you want tea, fava beans, or your choice of seed? All right. I'm starting to age here and my hair is really white. I'm not going to give a prize for that. How many prizes have I given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Heck, I'll go ahead and give a prize for this one if you name what I've got in my hand. David wants seeds. Okay, David, you can go to Baker Creek. You know the drill. Send me your name, address, and what you chose. Or if you want moringa, because I think you got excited about moringa, put down moringa, and that'll force me to go to the store and get some more moringa. He knows it, David. Okay, so you get 2 choices. Lion's mane, mushroom. That's a mushroom, y'all. We grew it in a bag on the back porch. And I'm going to have to do a video on how to do that, aren't I? Sure, give him an easy one. He was ready. So, David, what do you want? You want more seeds? You want moringa or what? Good night, Simply. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, Dark Lord. Okay. Xander, what do you need? Oh, now they're arguing who gets the prize. If you don't want the prize, I won't give you a prize. Almost Homesteading wants us to do a mushroom spawning video, mushrooms in a bag video.
We don't have that?
You're about to order spawn. Why don't you order some lion's mane? What do they even have it? this year?
Don't know.
We're about to, because we're going to be selling mushroom logs, order shiitake and oyster mushroom spawn. And well, Charlie, you did a video on the shiitake logs.
Yeah. But we didn't do it on bags.
We haven't done the bags yet. So if you want to look at the video on how to inoculate a log for the shiitake mushrooms, it's in our video library. But how to do it, how to grow mushrooms in a bread bag is how we used a bread bag for that. So we'll have to get some spawn and do that for you. Okay, so Xander wants moringa. Xander, you know, you're going to have to send an email and remind me what you won. So I think a lot of people, I seem to remember Nikki last year doing a video on these, some people call them butterfly peas. The nickname that a lot of people who aren't shy use is clitoris because it looks like woman's parts. Clitoris pea. It grows on a nice vine. The people in Thailand will use this to color their tea. It makes the tea or gin, if you drink alcohol, will turn it blue. They'll put it into rice for festivities and makes a blue rice. But it's got some medicinal properties in that it's antioxidant. It, as a rinse in your hair, it strengthens your hand. It's anti-inflammatory if you have achy parts. It improves your eyesight. I'm trying to remember. Gives a brain boost. I think I need some. Stabilizes blood sugar. Improves your skin. Fights certain types of cancer. And, of course, it helps your diabetes. I am going to post a link for you. If you want to read more about this, and if you won seed from me tonight and you're electing to get seed from Baker Creek and you want this, they do have some. Rifampin was the plague antibiotic. Does it say you really need to protect yourself from it, David? Okay, this next one is a sad picture. Let me tell you about my friend. This is a co-worker of mine. His name was Mohammed Awad. He was Palestinian. Very loving individual. Always ready to help me if I had a hard time with a customer or a hard time on the floor reaching something. He was always there to help. He had just found out that, you know, he came over here from Palestine. He brought his wife. He had 3 sons, I think. And 2 of his sons opened up a gas station in New Jersey. And one was executed while sitting in his car out in front of his gas station. Wasn't a robbery. He had the bag with all the money from the station. He was on his way to go deposit it in the bank, and someone put a gun in the back of his head and shot him. And he died, I think, 3 years ago. He was a diabetic. He didn't control his diabetes. He went into renal failure. But I'm saying it might be a good thing that he left us because his family back home in Palestine has been wiped out with the current hostilities. So I didn't mean to. I'm going to go back to a happier picture. Go back where we began. Yeah, Mike, I've got friends that have been through some pretty bad things. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. You know, all the Palestinians I know are wonderful people. And I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyway. Now I got to remember how to do this wheel of names. Y'all trust me if I just do the wheel of names and tell you who's on it, right? Okay. I have 3 bags of fava beans. Why do I have so many fava beans to give away? Because girlfriend doesn't realize when I order a certain weight how much of something I'm doing. I knew I wanted to grow fava beans as a cover crop this winter because they feed the soil. So even if you don't let them go, it's like 120 days before they give you beans that you can start picking. And even if you don't let them go to that point, they're fixing nitrogen as they're growing. And a lot of people let them grow until 2 weeks or so before you start planting your garden, and they'll go out and they'll till them in, where they'll decompose and feed your soil. Okay? So, but fava beans, Deborah, I love them sauteed in olive oil with garlic. Oh. Anyway, so I ordered 5 pounds. Who wants to share some fava beans? So, I've got 3 bags. That's enough fava beans, probably for a couple of plantings. And unless you live in an area where you're under snow right now, you can, if like from where Nikki is down through Ocala, Florida, you can put these in right now. Okay. And once they start growing, you can expect some beans in about 120 days. So Mike's going to plant some with corn. Okay. So these are wonderful. They are delicious. They do take some work to process them. They'll put on this long pod, and you have to go fondle it every now and then because it'll put the pod on without producing the bean inside. So you got to go molest your pod until you can feel the bean, okay? And once you can feel the beans formed, break the pod off, shuck the pod, boil the bean for about 10 minutes, strain it, pour cold water over it, and then start popping. There's a skin on each of these beans that you have to pop off before you actually cook them. And at that point, you can either freeze them or saute them in your olive oil with garlic. Oh. So Dark Lord would use this. You see what she said, or he said, where I'm at, it's a no-go. We plant them in September, and in November, that's it. They get smashed under the snow, and then spring, they till them under. But it makes a really, really good soil builder. So Almost Homesteading, you're in Nevada? Yeah, kinky. Yeah. They're really good in stews. Really good in stews. So I've got 3 to give away. Let's do 3 drawings. If you want to try your fava beans, even if you're just growing it as a ground cover, type hashtag fava. Into the chat. It's 11:11. Let's go to 11:13. And I'll spin the wheel. Type in hashtag fava if you would like to try some fava beans. Susan, Deborah, almost. Mike, David. Yeah, Mike, you can try growing them in a bucket. You can carry them around. And then I would probably just use the soil in the bucket to put in the garden, to put flowers in or whatever. Is that all? No one else wants in the drawing? We just do it early? Going once. Going twice. Okay, I'm going to pull the trigger. Okay, Deborah, you won fava beans. Yay! Gonna run it again. I gotta come back to chat, see if anyone else has put their name in. David Gray. One last time. Almost Homestead. That's first thing you've won? No, let's see. Favor. Okay, do y'all remember my my video I did on the Sleepy Time tea? I mixed up 3 bags of this. Bags of herb, man. I ran out of chamomile, and I have ordered chamomile, so it'll be next week before my chamomile comes in. And that's the only thing that's missing, so it may take, you only go to the post office every 2-3 weeks. So it may take next week or a little bit longer for you to mail it out once the chamomile comes in. But this is the Sleepy Time tea mix that I made the video on that actually encourages you to fall asleep and to dream. Okay, it's got mugwort in it, which helps you to dream. So if you want to be in the running, I've got 1, 2, 3 bags of this made up to mail out. Thank you, Alfonso. Charlie, there's a man wanting me to give me big bear hugs.
Yeah.
Did you hear him? Huh? He doesn't care. Hug away.
I got an ugly stick.
He says he has an ugly stick, Alfonso. Do you know what an ugly stick is? Okay, I'm going to have to write that down, David. Could you email that to me? Your choice, David? Yeah, I need your screen name and your mailing address. Don't make me look it up, please. Okay, so if you want some of this, if you have trouble sleeping, this really will help relax you. Okay. So 11:16. Let's give it to 11:17. I don't know where we are in the middle. I'm going to give you a minute, a little bit longer than a minute, to type in hashtag dreams if you would like this tea. It smells wonderful. Just to remind you what's in it, we've got cinnamon, rose petals, lavender, Demacia leaf, mugwort, hops, And once the chamomile comes in, you'll have like a quarter cup of chamomile flowers in it. It will help you relax and go to sleep. The mugwort stimulates your REM sleep for dreaming. If you're prone to nightmares, it may stimulate that type of dreaming. But if you're not, prepare for cinema type dreams. So hashtag dreams. Deborah Alfonso. David Gray. You all do realize that if only 3 people put their names in this, each one of you has already won, right? Deborah Alfonso David. Mike, you don't want to be in the running for this? Deborah, if you haven't seen my Dreamtime tea video, it was like 2 weeks ago I did it, where I go over the benefits of this tea and what the herbs are and give you the actual recipe if you want to look that up. So we've got Deborah, the tea, David Gray, and Alfonso. All right. Okay, cool. So that's a pretty good haul tonight for y'all. So what was your favorite picture I showed you? You have a favorite of all those pictures we went through? I know David's picture is, or Mike's favorite picture is the pitchfork.
Ouch.
Oh. So David Gray, you think you recognize Barry Gordimer's name? Mike likes the cat smooching you. Anything with an animal in it. I'll do this again sometime. Y'all like my picture out, my photo album? Charlie at the festival, that was neat. That's some good memories. Yeah. I'll share another memory. A day I took him with me to work. I was covering an airline pilot who had written a book. And I was reviewing his book. It was a religious type thing, but he happened to be a training pilot for Airbus. And he invited me down to the training hangar in Miami to do the face-to-face interview. And he says, so you want to fly an Airbus? So I said, can I bring my husband? And he said, sure. So we actually sat in an A130, an A30.
Airbus A30.
An Airbus A30 in the cockpit and did a simulated takeoff and landing. Both Charlie and I did. That was a cool experience. I crashed the plane. Charlie didn't.
No, the other guy did.
The other guy crashed. The rabbi crashed the plane.
Yeah.
The rabbi killed us.
I landed the thing I landed at JFK in a whiteout,
Yeah, he had Charlie land the plane in a simulated JFK airport in a whiteout. But when I took off, I kind of tilted and plowed the field with my wing. That's a neat memory, isn't it? David liked the pitch. Something told me, David, that you would like that pitch sport. You want to see it again? No, never mind.
Ouch. No.
So I'll put more pictures together for another time. How's that? No, I got it off the ground. I just kind of plowed the field and then leveled off and took off and landed. Then as we're flying along, he started flipping switches, and he put me into turbulence with a really, really good rainfall and lightning and whatever. It was fascinating. But he said that we did better than some of the people who have actually been through flight training, learning the simulator. It was. I've had a very fortunate career. I've met some really interesting people.
Well, it's a fly-by-wire.
Yeah, everyone. My email address is scrolling across your screen. Thank you, Suzanne, for doing that. Yeah. So, Charlie, is those your favorite memories of me, my reporting days?
Well, the reporting, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't like it when I got beaten up and shot at and followed home. My life threatened and everything else that I went through. But we had some good stories. I got hunted by a tiger. I'll tell you about that another time. Actually stalked by a snow tiger. That's a story for another night. But,
Got out.
You what? Hunted by a tiger. You need to tune into another live Almost Homesteading and remind me to tell you about the time the tiger almost ate me. You work at TV News? You didn't tell me you worked in TV News. What do you do for the news channel? My last job was a producer with CBS News in Miami. Yeah, we're dinner, Xander. You go into the ocean, you're saying, hey, dinner's here, dinner's served. All sorts of animals out there that would gobble you up if they could. Who's texting me? Oh. Your wife's master edit commercials. That's cool. Well, you're gonna have to tune in another night, Almost Homesteading, to hear those stories. I don't mind talking about my career. So what does your wife do? Is she a reporter? Is she an anchor, Mike? I enjoyed the reporting and the investigative journalism. I had to leave one job because of the investigation I did, because people were following me home and threatening me, and that was kind of scary. I've got another story, Almost Homesteading, of the time I saved my own life with my pump shotgun and I couldn't find the shells. That's another story I can share. Anywho, I want to thank y'all for giving me your time tonight, and I hope you had a good time. Remember, I've got a sister channel now. It's called I Died Near-Death Experience, NDE, I Died, NDE, because I've had a few brushes with death, and I've had some of those experiences and paranormal, and I've done 2 videos. I do them at the end of each month. the last Thursday. So the week after my second broadcast here for our Georgia Suburban Homestead, the following week will be a broadcast. And what I do is I do a premiere, and we go directly from the premiere into a live chat. And I'm trying to line up guest speakers. And I encourage you, if you have an experience to share, to come up on the panel and talk about it. The channel is growing quickly, which surprises me, with only broadcasting twice so far. But if you want to go to iDied, NDE, pop over, and then it's just me telling stories. Okay, so this was fun. Thank you so much. She does TV editor. That's, yeah, same thing a producer does. Right. So everyone, thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to say good night. Keep an eye out for my videos. I'm going to try to do more. I've been requested to do more garden tours, so I'll try to do more updates on that. So until next time, be good to each other. Tell people you love them, that you love them every day, because you never know. You never know. I'd say something corny like pray for world peace, but I'm praying for world peace. This insanity has got to stop. We've got to stop hating. Stop hating. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Y'all have a good night. Love y'all. Thank you. Bye.